Hi there, my friend. Welcome back to Smart Bunny English, your cozy space to relax, listen, and learn English in a natural way. Today, we're going to talk about something very important: how to have a basic conversation in English. Yes, I know it can feel scary sometimes. You want to talk, but you don't know exactly what to say. Maybe you're afraid to make mistakes, or maybe the words just don't come out when you need them. Don't worry, you're not alone. Everyone feels this way at the beginning. But today, I'll show you how simple it can be to start a friendly conversation and keep it going. You'll see, speaking English doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be natural. Let's start with the very beginning. When you meet someone new, imagine you're at a cafe, at work, or even traveling. Someone smiles and says, "Hi." What do you say? Exactly. You say, "Hi," or "Hello." So simple, right? But then, what happens next? The next line is almost always, "How are you?" You hear this everywhere. How are you? It's one of the most common questions in English. Now here's a secret. You don't need to give a long answer. Just something short and natural like, "I'm good, thanks, and you?" Or, "I'm fine, thank you." That's it. You already have a short conversation. Now let's practice it together. You, "Hi." The other person, "Hi. How are you?" You, "I'm good, thanks." And you, the other person, "I'm fine." See, you just spoke English. Simple, friendly, and clear. But what happens after that? How can you keep the conversation going? That's the big question. Many people stop after, "How are you?" because they don't know what to say next. So, let's fix that today. The best way to continue is to ask a simple question. English speakers love small talk. Short, light conversations about everyday things. You can ask about the weather, work, family, or free time. For example, "It's a nice day today, isn't it?" Or, "Are you busy today?" Or even, "Do you live around here?" These are easy ways to make the other person talk more. And that's great because it helps you relax while you listen and think of your next sentence. Let me give you a little story. Last week, I met a woman at a coffee shop. I smiled and said, "Hi, how are you?" She said, "I'm good, thanks. How about you?" I said, "I'm great. It's a nice day, right?" And she said, "Yes, finally some sun." And just like that, we started talking about the weather, coffee, and weekend plans. Simple, small steps. But it became a real conversation. That's the magic of small talk. You start with something light and it grows naturally. Now maybe you're thinking, "But what if I don't understand what they say?" Good question. That happens all the time, even for people who speak English well. The most important thing is not to panic. You can simply say, "Sorry, could you say that again?" Or, "Can you speak a little slower, please?" People are usually happy to help when you ask politely. And when you do that, you're actually practicing your listening too. Let's continue. After a few lines of small talk, you can share something about yourself. English speakers often say things like, "I'm from Brazil," or "I work in marketing," or "I'm studying English." These short sentences help the other person learn about you, and they'll probably ask more questions. So for example, "I'm studying English." "Oh, really? How long have you been studying?" "About 6 months." "Wow, your English is great." "Thank you." See how it flows? Conversations grow naturally when you share something small about your life. Now, let's look at introductions. When you meet someone for the first time, you can say, "Hi, I'm Sarah." And the other person might say, "Nice to meet you, Sarah. I'm David." You can reply, "Nice to meet you too." And then you can ask, "Where are you from?" Or, "What do you do?" These are safe, friendly questions that keep the conversation going without being too personal. Let's practice this one together. "Hi, I'm Sarah." "Hi, I'm David. Nice to meet you." "Nice to meet you too." "Where are you from?" "I'm from Canada." "And you?" "I'm from Brazil." That's great. I've always wanted to visit Brazil. Boom! You've already connected. Remember, learning English is not about speaking fast. It's about being understood. It's okay to pause. It's okay to think. Even native speakers pause and say things like, or you know. So don't feel bad about taking your time. One of the best tricks for having a natural conversation is to show interest in the other person. Use short phrases like, really? That's interesting. Oh, I see. These are small, but powerful. They make you sound friendly and natural. Imagine someone tells you, I went to Italy last summer. You can say, really? That sounds amazing. They'll smile and tell you more. It's like magic. A little attention goes a long way. Now let's imagine you're at a party or a meeting, and someone new joins the group. They might say, hi everyone, how's it going? You can smile and say, good. How about you? Then maybe they ask, what do you do? You can answer simply, I work in an office, or I'm a teacher, or I'm a student. Then ask back, and you? That's a great trick. Always ask back. It keeps the balance in the conversation, and it shows you're interested. Let's move to another situation. Talking about your day. Many basic conversations are about daily life. For example, someone asks, how's your day going? You can answer, it's good, thanks. I've been busy. Or, pretty good, I just finished work. Or, not bad, just relaxing today. Simple, honest, and short answers are perfect. Now let's talk about leaving the conversation, because sometimes you need to say goodbye politely. You can say, it was nice talking to you. Or, I have to go now, but it was great chatting. And always end with something friendly, like, have a good day. Or, see you soon. That way, the other person remembers you as polite and warm. Let me tell you something important. You don't need perfect grammar to have a conversation. You just need confidence and kindness. English is about communication, not perfection. If you forget a word, use another one. If you can't remember pharmacy, say, the place to buy medicine. If you can't remember hungry, you can say, I want to eat. People will understand. That's what matters most. Now, let's imagine you're practicing English with a friend. You start, hey, how are you? They say, I'm good. How are you? You say, I'm fine. What are you doing today? They say, I'm going shopping. You say, oh really? What are you going to buy? They answer, just some food for dinner. You say, nice. I love cooking. What are you making? And just like that, you're having a full natural conversation. It's not about big words or grammar rules. It's about connection. So now I want you to imagine you're listening to this while walking or cooking. Repeat the lines in your mind. Say them out loud if you can. Hi, how are you? I'm good, thanks. And you? Where are you from? What do you do? What are you doing today? These phrases are your tools. They're small but powerful. They open doors. They help you make friends. When I was learning another language, I used to talk to myself out loud. I would imagine I was meeting someone new. Hi, I'm Emma. Oh, hi Emma. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. How's your day going? It's good, just working. Cool. What do you do? And I'd laugh. Because yes, I was talking to myself, but it worked. I became more confident and faster. You can do that too. Another great tip, watch English movies or listen to podcasts and try to repeat short phrases. This technique is called shadowing. You listen and speak at the same time as the person. It trains your mouth, your ears, and your rhythm. And guess what? That rhythm is what makes you sound natural. If you ever feel nervous about talking to real people, remember this. The person you're talking to probably admires your effort. They're not judging your mistakes. They're thinking, wow, they're learning my language. So smile, take a breath, and start. Even one small sentence is progress. You know, English isn't just about grammar books or lessons. It's about connection. Saying hi, asking, "How are you?" and listening. It's about being human, sharing small stories, and making someone's day a little brighter. So next time you meet someone new, try this. Smile and say, "Hi, how are you?" Ask, "Where are you from?" Share something small about your day. Say, "I'm learning English," and be proud of that, because every word you say brings you one step closer to fluency. And remember, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be brave. The words will come. You've already learned enough to start. Just open your mouth and try. All right, my friend, that's all for today's episode. You've learned how to greet, ask questions, share about yourself, and keep a conversation going. Now it's your turn to practice. Try these phrases with a friend, a teacher, or even by yourself. The more you speak, the easier it becomes. Thank you for listening today. I hope this episode gave you confidence and motivation to keep learning and practicing. You're doing amazing. Keep speaking, keep listening, and keep smiling, because your English journey has already begun, and it's only getting better from here. See you next time, and happy learning.